can't believe this. Alex.
Please, let me explain. It's not what you think.
I froze in the doorway, my keys dangling from my hand like forgotten promises. There she was, my wife of 5 years, 8 months pregnant with our first child, her swollen belly pressing against the kitchen counter as she laughed into her phone. "Oh, stop it, you terrible," she giggled, her voice low and flirtatious, the kind she used to reserve for me in our early days. But it wasn't me on the other end. The screen glowed with a name I didn't recognize. Alex Work. My stomach twisted. Why was she whispering like that? I cleared my throat, and she spun around, her face paling as she hung up abruptly. "Honey, you're home early," she said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. That was the moment the cracks started showing, though I didn't want to see them. We'd been so happy, or at least, I thought we had. Sarah and I met in college, bonded over late-night study sessions and dreams of a family. Now, here we were, in our cozy suburban home, nursery half-painted in soft blues for the boy we were expecting. I'd been working overtime at the firm to save for the baby, coming home exhausted but thrilled, rubbing her feet and talking to her belly. "Is gonna be a kicker, just like his dad," I'd say, and she'd smile, her hand over mine. But lately, those smiles felt thinner, her touches more mechanical. The next few days, suspicion gnawed at me like a dull ache. I'd catch her staring at her phone, thumbs flying across the screen, then locking it away when I entered the room. "Just work stuff," she'd say, rubbing her belly absent-mindedly. Work. She was on maternity leave from her marketing job, spending days at home or running errands. I tried to shake it off. Hormones, right? Pregnancy made everything weird. But denial only lasts so long. One night, as she slept, her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I shouldn't have looked, but my hand moved on its own. Password. Our wedding date. Easy. The messages hit me like a punch. From Alex Weck. "Missed you today. That hotel was perfect last time." Her reply. "Can't wait for next week. Baby's kicking like crazy, but I need this." My heart hammered. Hotel. Next week. I scrolled back, breath shallow, piecing together fragments. This wasn't new. Dates stretched back months, coffee meetups that turned into lunches, then evenings. But Alex wasn't the only one. There was Mike Jim, with texts about sweaty sessions that had nothing to do with workouts. And Chris Coffee, gushing about stolen kisses in parking lots. I confronted her the next morning over breakfast, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Who's Alex?" I asked, sliding her phone across the table. She froze, fork midway to her mouth. "What? He's a colleague. Why are you snooping?" Her tone was defensive, eyes darting away. I pressed, "And Mike? Chris? These messages? Sarah? What the hell?" She burst into tears, clutching her belly. "It's the pregnancy, okay? I feel so fat and ugly. You work all the time. I just needed to feel wanted." Wanted? I stared at her, the woman I'd vowed to love forever, now a stranger. "How many times?" I whispered. She shook her head, sobbing. "It doesn't matter. It was nothing." But it mattered. God, it mattered. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. Anger simmered beneath the heartbreak, bubbling up in quiet moments. I'd pace the nursery at night, staring at the crib we'd assembled together, imagining our son growing up in a broken home. Was he even mine? The thought sliced through me like a knife. I denied it at first. Our love couldn't be this fragile. But clues piled up. Her doctor appointments that lasted hours, coming home with flushed cheeks and rumpled clothes. The faint scent of unfamiliar cologne on her scarves. I started tracking her phone's location app, the one we'd shared for safety. It led to motels, coffee shops, a gym across town. One evening, I followed her. She waddled into a dingy motel parking lot, her maternity dress fluttering in the breeze. A man, tall, dark-haired, probably Alex, waited by a car, pulling her into a hug that lingered too long. They disappeared into a room. I sat in my car, fists clenched on the wheel, tears blurring the windshield. How could she? 8 months pregnant, our child inside her, and she's betraying us both. I drove home numb, the world tilting. That night, I dug deeper. Hacked our email. Password still our anniversary. Receipts for hotel rooms. 6 in the last 2 months alone. 6 times. While carrying our son. Messages to 3 different men. Alex, Mike, Chris. Floaty banter escalating to explicit plans. The bump makes it even hotter, one wrote. I gagged while rising. Motivations. She felt neglected, unattractive. Understandable on some twisted level. Pregnancy hormones. My long hours. But 6 times. It wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern, a deliberate shattering of our vows. Confrontation came like a storm. She waddled in late, humming softly. I met her at the door, printouts in hand. 6 times, Sarah? While pregnant. My voice cracked, anger and sorrow colliding. She gasped, hand flying to her mouth. How did you? Doesn't matter. Why? She sank onto the couch, tears streaming. I don't know. I was lonely. You were always gone. They made me feel alive again. Alive? I paced, rage boiling. And what about me? What about our son? She reached for me, but I pulled away. I'm sorry. It won't happen again. But trust was gone, evaporated like morning dew. It's over, I said, the words tasting like ash. The days blurred into a haze of lawyers and packing boxes. I moved out, crashing on a friend's couch, haunted by what ifs. Was the baby mine? A paternity test loomed, but deep down, I knew I'd love him regardless. He was innocent in this mess. Sarah called daily, begging forgiveness, her voice raw with regret. Part of me understood her pain. Pregnancy amplified insecurities, and I'd been absent, chasing stability for our future. But understanding didn't erase the betrayal. 6 times. It echoed in my mind, a tally of broken promises. In the end, I filed for divorce. The courtroom was sterile, her belly huge under a loose dress as she signed the papers, tears silent. Our son arrived 2 weeks later, healthy, with my eyes, DNA confirmed. I held him first, a tiny bundle of hope amid the wreckage. Sarah watched from the bed, exhaustion and sorrow etching her face. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I nodded, not forgiving, but acknowledging the complexity of human frailty. Now, months later, I rock our boy to sleep in my small apartment, his tiny hand in mine. Heartbreak lingers, a scar that aches on rainy days. Suspicion poisoned our love. Denial delayed the inevitable. Anger fueled the end. But in the quiet, I reflect, betrayal doesn't define us. It teaches resilience, the fragile beauty of trust. And maybe, someday, forgiveness. For now, I hold my son close, vowing to build a world where he never doubts love's strength.